Hello guys, welcome to another video of DevOps. In this video, we are going to discuss about automation with PowerShell using Azure DevOps pipeline. If you are working with Azure and Azure DevOps, and if you are a DevOps engineer, or you can say Azure DevOps engineer using Microsoft Azure Cloud, this is the video for you. You can always work with PowerShell and your ADO pipelines to automate multiple things. That can be either creating your resources in Microsoft Azure or automating things like creating work items, creating bugs or tasks, or whatever kind of automation you want to do in Azure DevOps itself or somewhere else. You might want to trigger some pipeline or trigger some of the REST APIs. Everything can be done using PowerShell and or this Azure DevOps. In this video, we are going to discuss and see the same as well. How we can use PowerShell in our Azure DevOps pipelines and how you can run the scripts and all to do the automation. Okay. If you come here in the Microsoft documentation, and this is the REST APIs documentation where you get REST API for everything, all the things in Azure DevOps. Like to create the pipelines, you can see if you come here in the left, you get everything. If you have to manage artifact using REST API, you can come here, expand the artifact, and you get everything. Like if you want to get package, just click on get package and open this REST API, and you can use this same REST API to get the package details of your artifact. Okay, here you will have to, this is the method, get method, and this is the URL. You will have to append the organization, project and feed ID, package ID according to your requirement, or this should be your feed ID and package ID here. And you can call this REST API using your PowerShell script inside your pipeline, or even manually as well, to achieve the automation or to do the automation in Azure DevOps or even in Microsoft Azure. You can also use Microsoft Azure REST APIs to do the automation directly in Azure, or even Azure CLI commands, or even PowerShell Azure RM or Azure agent modules. Okay, so let's first try to create one pipeline and see how many types of PowerShell tasks generally we get in pipelines. Let me click on new pipeline and select the repository, or let me select the classic editor. Okay, click on continue and let's select the empty job. You can change the name based on the, suppose let me just add the name as PowerShell demo, and inside agent job let's select the task and search for PowerShell. If you see, we get multiple PowerShell commands or tasks here inside this. The first one is plain PowerShell. You can use this task to run your PowerShell script either on Linux machines, Mac OS or Windows. Let's add it. You can change the name, whatever display name you want to run for this task. Okay, or you can also specify file path and inline script. If you have your script somewhere inside your repository, you can just export those artifacts and use the artifact in the pipeline and provide the script path for that inside here. Okay, suppose this is your script, you can select something like this, so your script will be selected here. If you don't have your script inside some of the repository, you can also use inline script as well. Something like this. You can paste your script directly here and run it. Okay, and you can select this some of the settings like preference variables, error action preference, like what should this command do if there is error in the script, then this should stop or continue. You can select all these settings based on your requirement. Inside the advanced as well, you can select the advanced setting. You can use PowerShell core as well. If you are using Linux machines to run this PowerShell script, then you can select this so that this will use the PowerShell core. You can specify the working directory. If your script is not inside some particular default working directory, you can specify something like or the directory you want your script to be running. In the control options, you can enable some of the settings. If you want to continue even on error, you can add the number of retries, you can add the timeout details as well, and even you can add the conditions like when this task could run. If you have some custom conditions, you can add the custom conditions as well. If you have some environment variables for this script, you can add those environment variables directly from here. Okay, and if you have some output variables, you can also use the output variables from here so that you'll be able to use these variables later inside your job. So this is one of the tasks to run the PowerShell script or PowerShell commands inside your Azure pipeline. Okay, or suppose if you have requirement to run your script inside Microsoft Azure itself, then if you are using this, you'll have to explicitly log into Azure environment using agent login command, or if you are login with identity, you'll have to log in with agent login hyphen hyphen identity, something like this. Okay, or if you are logging with service principal, you will have to just use this agent login service principal command. Okay, if you don't want to do this, you want just a pipeline your Azure DevOps pipeline to automatically takes care of that, you can use the Azure PowerShell command or Azure PowerShell task. Search the PowerShell again. Okay, you get this one. If you want to run PowerShell script on target machine, you can use this, or you can also use this Azure PowerShell command or Azure PowerShell task. Okay, here you'll have to select your service connection. Once you have selected your Azure subscription, this is nothing but service connection which is already created by going to this project setting, or you also can create by clicking on this manage and creating the Azure Resource Manager service connection. Once this is created and this script is running, this task will automatically log into this subscription and select the scope as well, so that the script which you are adding here will be automatically running inside this subscription. But in case of first task, you will have to select the subscription first by yourself. Okay, again here you'll have to select the script path. If you have something, then you can add the path here and you can supply the arguments from here. If you click on this eye, it will show you how you can supply the arguments. Again, like the first task, if you have inline script, You can click on inline script and you can add your script here. Okay, error action preference. This is nothing but to stop the pipeline or fail the pipeline when this script has been failed. If you want to specify Azure PowerShell version, you can specify. Otherwise, you can also use the latest installed version as well. If you want to use Azure PowerShell code, if you are working with Linux virtual machines or Linux agents, you will have to use the Azure PowerShell core. Then only this PowerShell will work inside the Linux agents or Linux virtual machines. Okay, you can specify the working directory, control options, output variables based on the requirements. So these two are the tasks which you can use to run the PowerShell script from your pipelines. If you click on plus again, we get another task as well which you can use to run the script. That is nothing but Azure CLI. If you have a requirement to run the commands inside Azure, you can use this Azure CLI task as well to do that. Even you can run the scripts as well inside your Azure. Suppose this is my service connection and I have a script of PowerShell. I can run the PowerShell script from here, or even if you have a PowerShell core script, which should be running in Linux agent machines, you can select the PowerShell core. If you have shell or batch script as well, you can run using this command. Since you have PowerShell, you can always go with PowerShell script type and select the script location. That can be either inline script or path as well. If you are selecting the script path, you'll have to select the script path from here. Suppose this is your script, it will come something like this. You can specify the arguments from here and all other settings are default. In advance, you can say access service principal details in script. Okay. In control options, most of the things are same, and even in environment variables, if there are some environment variables being used inside this script, you can use the environment variables from here. Okay, so these are three ways which you can run the PowerShell task or PowerShell script inside your Azure pipeline to automate your task. Okay, the first one is generally you can use to run any type of PowerShell script, and the last two generally we use if you are working with Microsoft Azure and PowerShell, so that this will just log in into the Azure for you and it will set the subscription scope as well, because we are already selecting the service connection from here inside the task. Okay, and you can automate anything from here inside your pipelines using the REST APIs which we already seen. You get the REST APIs for everything, like I'll show you for pipelines as well. Like if you want to create something, like create one pipeline, you can use this REST API to create the pipeline. This you can see, this is the post method and this URL. You'll have to send the post request on this URL using required parameters. Okay, and you'll have to, since this is post request, you will have to send the body as well. Once this is done, it will create the work item or it will create the pipeline for you inside your Azure DevOps environment. Okay, like this, if you want to create some work items, you can select the work items as well. If you come here inside it, work items, if you want to create the work item, you can use this REST API to do the same. This is very good documentation where you can refer anything you can create directly using the REST API in Azure DevOps and do the automation. Like this, I have one script which generally create one bug inside the Azure DevOps environment. If you are running it, you can select the URL, something like this. You can specify the headers. You can add the personal access token for authentication. And finally, you will have to supply the JSON payload. Using this payload itself, it will create the work item for you. And here we are just calling the REST method using this URI. You can see we are supplying the headers, we are supplying the method as post, and in the body we are just passing this JSON. Okay, so if you just do it, it will create the bug for you. You can paste your script here in everything, like in line script, you can paste your script here. Here in this, you can paste the inline script here so that this script will be running whenever we just run this pipeline. If you click on save and queue, this should go ahead and run all this script inside this pipeline. I don't have the working script at the moment, but I just have shown you how you can do that, how you can add the script inside your pipeline. This will fail because we don't have the working script. So like this, you can use the PowerShell to create the work items or create the repositories, create the wikis, create the environments, releases, library, task group, almost everything. All the automation of Azure DevOps can be achieved using script, or that is PowerShell script. If you are using or working in Azure, PowerShell basically you should be knowing, which generally you can use to automate almost everything inside Azure or Azure DevOps. Okay, this script has failed because it is saying 401 authorized, unauthorized, because we have not corrected this URI and we are not sending the request correctly. Even the pet token is not mine. So this way you'll be able to execute all the PowerShell related script directly from your pipeline. For more details about REST APIs, you can refer this document. Simply search Azure DevOps REST APIs. You'll get this document from this official website of Microsoft. That is learn.microsoft.com. By going here, you can always search for this website and do the automation accordingly. Okay, that's it from this video. Even if you want to execute Azure related task, you can also run the command directly from here by clicking on edit pipeline. You can even add one command here and run that as well inside the Azure DevOps pipeline and Azure. Okay, that's it from this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe my channel. If you have any feedback or suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.